It's lunchtime, and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from Studio A in the heart of Delray Gallery, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free at 888-565-1470 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome to a 2020 Vision. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by the Brooklyn Cafe Coffee. Get your groove on in the morning, have a little cup of Brooklyn Cafe morning.
How do you do that?
I do it slowly.
I don't know where I'm so confused right now with this soundboard because we've changed roles. We don't even have the cameras on. I'm sitting here very confused by the numbers.
We're all good. 20. Okay, you got to open up all those mics. 2020 Vision is on the air, and here's Teddy.
Hi. I was going to try and move my mouth so I looked like Freddie was talking. He talked too fast. Welcome to 2020 Vision. I'm Teddy.
Kelsey.
Manuel.
And Hector the Animator.
And we kind of wanted to do something different today in terms of questions, topics, all that. Kelsey had the cool idea to come up with some ethical questions to ask around about the millennials because I think it will be a lot different from at least our answers to other generations.
Yes, I think
you
so.
You think so?
I think
well,
so.
we
Yeah.
don't really have Freddie to go off of.
True.
and technically Dawn.
The ethical side of Freddie.
The ethical side of Freddie there.
That's going to imply Generation X, but if she wants to go take that route.
Well, I had something that happened this weekend to me that I wanted to bring, and then Kelsey had brought that up, and I was like, this works perfectly.
Simpatico.
Yeah.
We're in sync here.
But if you don't mind, I'm going to start with mine because mine's
You go.
Sure,
you
go for it.
I'm
Go
just
for it.
talking about it.
Yeah, go for it.
But also, you guys like my really nice hat because I have really gross bed head today. Hi. So this weekend, my boyfriend and his friend went to a football game, and really long story short, they found a girl who was really intoxicated, and she had gotten separated from her friends. Her phone was dead. She somehow hooked onto their friend group, and one by one, they started to see their friends all separate from the group because they didn't want to take care of this girl.
Well, that tends to be a bad sign.
Yeah, and then it was just the two of them, and they were stuck there, and they're like, well, I don't want to take care of this girl, she's screaming, freaking out, she's drunk, she's very, very drunk, and they're like, it's not my job to take care of her, I don't know where her friends are.
Yeah, if her friends ditched her, that probably means this wasn't the first time she's pulled something like that either.
But now you have the question, they ended up calling me, because I was the one coming to pick them up, being like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want, we could take her back, but she's saying she lives in Coral Gables from FAU, and I'm like, well, I really don't want to drive to Coral Gables, but in my mind, being a girl, these are two guys who I know aren't going to do anything to her. It's better you scoop them up, I have to drive to Coral Gables and it's going to suck, than someone else find her. And in their minds, that we don't want to drive to Coral Gables, she's not our issue, she's just some random girl. So I thought that was really interesting of what do you guys think?
I told you earlier,
Yeah.
I would probably think about driving her to the police.
Which I didn't even think about.
Rather than, because you also brought up, you put her in your car, and then while
Oh,
you're
yeah.
driving, she's screaming out the window.
Yeah, so she came to us and she's asking me when I picked them up, she said, are you going to take me to my friends? And I said, yes. She was charging her phone in my car so we could text her friends, see where they were. She said, I live in Coral Gables, so we figured, all right, by the time we start getting there, we can call her friends, see where they are. And, she said, please take me to my friends. So I said, okay. So I put her in my car, and I started driving, and then she started screaming that we were kidnapping her.
Screaming out the window.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's kind of the tip-off that her friends probably just ditched her because she gets drunk like that.
But then I was like, well, and I pulled over, and I said, do you want out of the car? And she said, no, take me to my friends. And I said, then you have to stop screaming, because I'm going to get in trouble. Okay, and it was the whole way until her phone charged. And we finally, you know, her friends weren't in Coral Gables. We met up with them, whatever. But, you know, in my mind, I was like, I have to deal with this because I don't want someone else who's a bad person to pick her up. But is that fair? Like, that's not fair to any of us that we had to deal with
But
that.
that's the key point, that you knew it was ethical to look after her. You didn't want somebody unsavory, as we'll call them, to pick her up. But at the same time, now you're driving to Coral Gables, a city that you're not entirely familiar with.
At all.
You've
I've
got
never
a
been
girl
there.
screaming out of your car that you're kidnapping her, which
Yeah.
invites other people to, you know, she's drawing attention to you. What if
Yeah.
somebody called the police on you? It's like one of those things where she
Exactly.
could be holding a piece of paper up to the window, like, help me.
Yeah.
So I
Thankfully,
think
her
I
phone
just drive her to
charge.
the police station.
I wish I had thought of that. I really do.
What would you guys do?
Well, I mean, I would drive her to her house. I mean, but I don't know.
It was one of those,
Yeah.
and my boyfriend and his friend were like, just leave her, like, let's just leave her at the game. Like, let's go back to the game and just put her there. Like, her friends will find her.
I wouldn't do that. No,
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Well, if her friends
Why?
ditched her, then I don't think they had any interest
I don't
in
think they
finding her.
ditched her because when we,
Or
I think
okay,
they got
lost her.
separated. Because when we called them, they were freaking out. And they're like, where are you? Where is our friend? And
It's
I was
easy to
like,
do at a game.
So in that
especially
case,
if
wouldn't it
it's
have been a better idea just to sit in the car and let the phone charge?
I just wanted to get her out of my car.
Yeah, but when you called the friends, didn't they say, where are you? Can we have her back?
Yeah, I was like halfway, because she was saying, oh, I live in Coral Gables, so I was halfway to Coral Gables. And when her phone finally charged, and they're like, no, we live in, like, Gables Apartments or whatever, like, right by FAU.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
was like, oh, okay.
So you don't even know her, and you put this girl in your car. It could have been anything.
Exactly.
Kelsey, I think yours was a good point of calling the authorities.
Yeah,
It's
I
also-
really wish I thought of that.
It's also kind of scary that, you know, in today's society, maybe, you know, you're a little more paranoid than you were in the past, but there have been scams where women are, you know, their car's broken down by the side of the road
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
saying, help me, or they're saying something like, my child's hurt, come help me. Where, you know, you're putting somebody in your car, you're stopping to help someone, and you don't always know if it's
It could be human
True.
trafficking or, you know, a murder.
I have a question.
Go, yeah.
Why did you put her in your car?
And that was the thing, was that in my mind I was like, well, I know that I'm not going to do anything bad to her, and I know my friends aren't going to do anything bad to her. I want her to be safe. I need to take her home. In their minds, they
But
were
why
thinking,
do you feel obligated to take her home?
I don't know.
Well, you put her in your car.
I don't know why. I was just
It's
my
the
first
nurturing
thought.
aspect of Teddy.
I knew
Without
that-
even thinking that it was potentially putting you and your friends in jeopardy, right?
In harm's
Because
way.
You don't know what she had in her purse. You don't know if she
what
had.
she found out was unsavory.
Oh, that's the
Okay,
thing.
so I'm going to ask again.
Yes,
Why did you put her? Whose decision was it to put her in your car?
mine. I was
And the
on
reason
shift.
for this is, I'm just trying to understand your thinking.
She wanted to make sure she got home safely.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure she was.
But
safe.
you weren't taking her home.
Yeah, well, we were taking her to a friend's house where she was staying.
Was she drunk? Was she high? Was she?
She was something.
Probably all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after what we found in her bag, she was something.
Well, then the bottom line here is you put yourself in harm's way to do the right thing. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, but is that okay? Like, should you do that?
No.
well.
I
No.
I
think
think,
okay.
But
I
it
think
is-
your
but-
initial idea was right.
Yeah.
It came
But-
from the right place.
Yeah, you didn't necessarily look out for yourself when you were looking out for her.
Yeah. But so many people do it. When I was in college, that's just what you did. You were at a bar, you found a girl who didn't know where it was, like didn't know where her friends were, or whatever. You helped, you know,
Yeah.
she got on your Uber, you took her home. Like, that was just what you did. So now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh wow, that was really dangerous. And like, maybe it would have been more personally ethical to leave her there or to, you know, take her to the authorities.
What was the outcome?
She was fine. We met up with her friends. We brought her to the apartment. Her phone charged. Her friends literally were just like, thanks, grabbed her and ran away.
That's it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What about a tip?
Yeah, right. Uber driver now.
Yeah.
5-star review.
Well, and then the question I would ask you is, would you do it again?
Yeah. I would.
Would
'Cause
you do it a different way though?
No. I wish I would say that, like, yeah, I probably would take them to the authorities, but, like, no. I would probably still do the same thing. I would take them home. If they were really that big of an issue, like she wasn't screaming, like, you're kidnapping me, maybe I would take them to the authorities, but maybe this time. But no, I'll do
Maybe
it
we could call her
again.
an Uber.
Yeah, that's true. But she didn't know where she was. Like, it wasn't until we were halfway to Coral Gables that we got her
That's
address.
true.
I know so many people from college who that has happened to and they got into unsavory situations. Like, yeah, I would 100% do it
But
again.
you would do it again.
Yeah.
Would you ever hitchhike? You guys ever hitchhike before? Thumb to the road?
Considering where I used to live, I don't think that was an option.
But have you ever done it is the question. Have you ever hitchhiked personally?
I
No.
don't think I don't think that's a thing much anymore.
Okay, but the reason it's not a thing is because a lot of people go missing, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, isn't that the same circumstance where you're putting yourself in harm's way with putting somebody you don't know in your car?
Yeah.
And let me ask you another question I used to teach my kids. If this woman had just robbed a bank and she's in your car, that makes you an accomplice now.
An unknowing accomplice.
There's no such thing. She's in your car. What is her word against yours? If she says, yep, we're all in it together, you're not an accomplice.
But she
If
had-
you get in a car with your friend and your friend's car was stolen, the guy just stole the car and you're in that car, you are guilty of stealing the car because you're in it. Did you know that?
But then how guilty would I feel if she didn't do any of that? She was just some drunk girl who needed help. She was at the game. She comes up the next day on a murder story, on a rape story. And I could have helped her, and I refused to help her, and now she's, in one of those situations.
So you thought that it was the best thing to take her out of that element, put it on yourself, and that's okay.
I felt that she was not in a position to consent to anything that may have happened at the game, that may have done anything, and I know that me and the friends I was with weren't.
Now you're a female.
Yes.
I want to ask the guys, being a male and she's a female with you guys, how do you feel?
Best way to put it, like a small worm on a big hook.
Right, because if she's screaming at a female, you're kidnapping me. She screams at you, you're raping me.
Yeah.
Well, that can't be.
That's way different. Yeah.
Even if it's not true, no one's gonna believe me if I say otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, small worm, big hook.
Well, do any of you, other than Kelsey, think it's sound advice to go to the authorities?
Yeah, it probably would have been the smarter thing to do. Say
Yeah.
one of the security guards there that there's a lost person.
But you can't. The friends aren't going to put out a lost person thing.
No,
They're just
but-
going to keep her in jail for the night, especially with what this specific instance, what she had on her. They're going to keep her in jail for a night until she sobers up, and then they'll send her home in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, it's true, but this happened at the stadium though.
Yeah.
The stadium
But
had
then, I ask you, you wanted to keep her out of harm's way. Isn't that keeping her out of harm's way?
But the only other option I would think is just go to your car, charge your phone enough to actually make a phone call, and just call one of her friends. You're still technically in the stadium. They're her friends. Theoretically, you're still technically in the stadium.
But then I still have to drive her to her friends because her friends aren't going to pick her up.
Well, how do you
They
know
obviously
they
left her. So I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting question because me and my boyfriend and his friend were all not fighting about, we were all discussing because they were like this. They were on.
Well, what did they think?
Dangerous. They were like, this is dangerous and this isn't our problem. Like, we don't know this girl. She literally just decided to come up to us. We don't know who she is. We don't know where she's from. We don't know anything about her. Like, this isn't our problem.
So they were not in agreement with you on putting her in your car.
Yeah. It
And
was
what about
only-
your parents? Now that they may not know, but now clearly mom knows.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Guess what I did the other night? We'll find out when I get home.
They're gonna tell you don't do that again.
Well, if it
Yeah.
makes you feel any better, you did do the right. You did do the
I did
right.
a right thing.
A right
You
thing.
did
Yes.
no, you did the moral thing.
She
You
did
didn't
the
do
ethical.
you did not do
Yes.
It was
the
not
right thing, because if it costs you something
Well, it
like your
wasn't the
life,
smart thing. That's for certain.
well, you can't get a life back.
Yeah.
And it could have been a setup. It could be a whole lot of stuff.
But I couldn't get her life back either.
Yeah, but you're not responsible for. This is a great question. Accountability. Doesn't anybody have accountability anymore? If you do something wrong, are you accountable?
But I would find myself accountable if something happened to her because I had the chance to change it.
So you're your brother's keeper.
Yes. Sister's keeper.
I guess
Even
it's-
if it means that you can be in serious, serious harm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have
Because
siblings.
I still feel that I'm in a position where I can handle it, and if they can't,
You can handle it.
Well, not
Say hi to mom.
not
Well-
like they're stabbing me or something, like not something like that. But if something happened to her, I am in a position where I'm like, I'm fully sober, I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm driving someone home.
Morally, you're 100% correct. If something happened to her today, is it your problem?
No.
Well, what's the difference?
Because I can't do anything about it now. But at the time, I had that moment where I could have either put her in my car and taken her away from a potential situation, or I could leave her there and let her get into a potential situation.
Good dilemma.
What would you have done if you got down to Coral Gables and you still couldn't find where she lived?
Cry.
Or something would have happened now?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, what's all that power now if you're in a bad position?
I think at that point, I think that's probably when I would have gone to the authorities. I would have just been like, look, I don't know where your friends are. They're not answering. If they weren't answering their phones or whatever, that's when I would have just been like, I'm taking you to the police station. Like, I've done all I can.
So if I ask you the $1 million question,
Which is?
what would you tell your
Get
daughter
out of my
to
head.
do?
I would hope that my daughter would do the same thing, honestly.
Really?
Because to me, that's what is morally correct. And hopefully my daughter would be in the same position that I was, where she could handle if something happened like that.
Okay.
Give us
I
a
would
call
hope
at the
that she'd do the same
station.
thing.
What's the number, girls?
Yeah, call in. Disagree with me.
What's the number?
888-994-4995.
Kelsey, what would you have done?
Yeah, Kelsey, what did you do? You're a female.
I am a female.
Well-
The female.
I wouldn't have put her in my car just because you don't know what she has on you. You don't know who her friends are. You don't know where she's taking you, where she says her apartment is. You don't know who's going to be in that apartment when you get there. I absolutely would have helped her. I would have called her an Uber. I would have called non-emergency police.
Mm-hmm.
If I couldn't
Campus
reach any of them,
security.
I would have taken her to the closest police station, as far as the closest police station. I don't think I'd ever, unless I knew the person, put somebody in my car and taken them to a place that they were telling me to go.
I think it's also, I felt better that I had two men in the car with me who I trusted.
But were they also
No, they weren't.
slightly intoxicated, or?
Slightly enough that they couldn't drive, but not slightly enough that, like, and you know what I mean?
Oh, so everybody was drunk. Is that what you're
Except
saying?
Teddy.
Except
They
Teddy?
weren't drunk.
Miss Teddy was the DD.
I came and picked them up after work.
Also have a DD.
Yeah, have
Yeah,
a DD.
exactly. Yeah.
Don't lose your friends.
So here's another one for you. Let's say you thought your friend was in trouble. Would you go through their emails and texts to find out and see what they're up to?
What kind of trouble?
Well, what kind of trouble would they have to be in for you to go through their personal belongings?
I don't think I ever would. I'm trying to think about it. I really don't think I ever would. I think I would just have to talk to them because that's such a breach of privacy.
What would you guys?
Kidnapping. That's pretty much the only thing.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty much the only thing.
Yeah, kidnapping.
Then yeah.
Kidnapping.
What about if you feared they were doing drugs?
No comment.
Illicit activities, whatever that would be.
If I thought they were like gonna murder someone or that they were kidnapped, then like probably would go through their texts.
Really?
But yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Well, that's a
dangerous.
kidnapping. That's a kidnapping. You at least need to know how they got in contact with or who they got in contact with.
But I assume that they would probably have their phone. Like the kidnapper would have taken their phone. Like I don't think I would have their phone if they were kidnapped. But like if I did somehow have access to it, I would. But
Well, let's say they weren't in immediate danger. Let's say they weren't kidnapped, but you sensed something dire was about to happen.
Okay. I don't know. I don't think I would. Personally, I don't think I would.
What would you do if a coworker started changing their behaviors?
Talk to
What do you mean? Change the behavior?
That's a bit of a loaded question.
So,
Kind of a loaded question.
also,
He doesn't take a bath anymore? Hygiene? What?
That's a bit of a loaded question,
They say
Dawn.
things a little bit differently than they used to. Their demeanor, their delivery.
Inappropriately?
Their topics are a little off center from their baseline. What would you do?
What the hell does that
I
mean?
think I would ask them first, like, hey, is everything okay at home? Is everything okay, mentally, physically, whatever? And then if it continued, that's my point where I'm like, that's not my problem. Like, your mental state.
That's not your problem, but a
Well,
perfect
you're-
stranger is your problem.
Correct.
What if one of our crew,
But-
you saw their behaviors were changing a little bit?
What does that mean? How? He's picking his nose.
They were distracted. Their texts, their comments, their actions were not typical to their normal behavior.
But that's normal.
Why?
Because you get on your phone at all different times.
It's the conversation you and I have been having for 2 days.
Oh, you're talking about that. That's a whole different behavior.
Why? Bring it, ask them.
What would you do if one of your coworkers' behavior seems to be just unexplainable?
Wait, I think I just asked that question.
I mean, like doing things out of the ordinary that you don't expect them to do.
And again, I say it's a bit of a loaded question.
Okay, so unload it. What would you do?
It's not like you come in a clothing that's not becoming on you. It's more of their actions, things that are a little questionable.
But the problem is anything could be questionable. But most questionable, and half the time it does have an explanation to it. It's just because it's work, you don't always feel you're obligated to give them the explanation.
I think
Exactly.
that
It's work.
if their
Okay.
behavior was affecting the way that they were, like if it was a coworker or something, if it was affecting the way they were doing their job, then at that point I would either speak to them or again speak to the manager or whoever's higher up. But if it's not affecting the way they're doing their job, that's my point where I would just be like, hey, are you okay? You're good? Okay. Because if it's not affecting how they're doing their job, then it might just be a personal thing. And that's my point where I'm like, on you.
So what if it was your child? It's the same concept of invasion of privacy. Do you have more of a responsibility for their well-being than you would for a best friend or a sibling?
Oh,
Yes.
So you would go through their things then?
Dang, you got good questions.
Considering I grew up with two psychologists, I don't think they had to.
What?
What?
Both my parents were in the psychiatric field. I don't think it really mattered if I hid anything from them. They just knew that I was.
My mom's a mind reader. She always knew when I did something wrong.
Is that a mom power you get as a
Yes.
Mom
Like
power,
text
and you
me.
get tentacles. Yes, you get like 8 arms.
Would you guys rat out somebody who is dealing drugs or stealing or something? Would you rat them out to the police?
Just
I'm
sounds
taking
like
a
Dylan.
step back from this question.
Why?
Because I had personal experience with that.
And what'd you
I'm
do?
not happy with how I handled it.
Okay, so do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Is she obligated to talk about it?
Yeah.
Gun to my head. When I was in high school, and my mom already knows about this one, so you already know, Mom. I was dating a guy who, at the time, I didn't know, but I found out towards the end of our relationship was dealing. Am I allowed to say just drugs? He was dealing bad drugs, like the bad ones.
Oh.
And once I found out, I kind of talked to him about it. I told him I wasn't comfortable with it. He didn't stop. I have ADD, and I used to take medication for it, and he used to steal it, and I didn't stop him.
Wow, what a douche.
Because I didn't know what to do, and I was young, and now as an adult, I should have reported him to the authorities so he could get the proper help that he needed, and I didn't.
I love how you phrase that, though, the proper help that he needed versus reporting him to the authorities because he stole your medication and was dealing hard drugs. Just so he could get the help he needed.
He needed help, and I wish I had, because I know that now, as an adult, I have friends who have still kept in contact with him. He is still in the realm of not where he needs to be because of drugs, and I wish that I had reported him, but I didn't. So apparently, at that time, I wouldn't. That's my story.
So Dylan, the question on the table is, well, which question you want to ask Dylan, Kelsey?
You want to go with
I have a question for
the
you,
one
Kelsey.
we're on now?
Yes.
So the question is, what specific? If you know someone who's dealing drugs, would you report them to the authorities?
I know a lot of people that deal drugs, and I don't report them to the authorities.
You don't? Why?
I don't because I'm not in control of what their actions. So why should they get in trouble for something that I did?
Well, let's say that they're dealing hard drugs to addicts and somebody ODs and dies.
Let's say that they're one of the people who are dealing jewel pods to 13-year-olds.
So you're gonna blame gun manufacturers because they make guns? So you're gonna blame gun manufacturers because they kill people?
I don't think that's the same. I don't think those two things are the same.
We're not blaming like the people who make, vape pods or whatever.
No, but you know what? Keep it simple. If you know someone who's dealing drugs, I don't care what kind of drug it is, illegal drugs. It doesn't matter from prescription up to heroin. If you know that these people are dealing, would you report them to the authorities? It's simple, yes or no.
I would not.
If again, kind of a hard question, mostly because I've known people who have taken them, and I've met the people who have sold them to them. On one hand, I never really ratted them out to anyone because I didn't really know if it would do anything or help. Because the person would still just because even if I did say who it was taking the stuff, the person who was consuming would just found another guy.
What if you found out your child was dealing drugs?
And I told him to give me a cut. They told me to give me a cut of the proceeds, or I told the cops.
So if a family member is dealing drugs, would you get them help or call the authorities?
If calling the authorities gets some help, then yes.
Right, so authorities isn't necessarily calling the police. What if it's an intervention?
Yeah.
What if they need a rehab program, or they need?
Well, that's the thing about drugs, though. There's often a person called a supplier.
What if your child is a supplier and they are supplying?
No, I mean somebody gives them the drugs to sell to others.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
there's
problem.
that chain.
Yeah, that's the thing. Most of the times, drug dealing has the chain. If it's like stuff that they're growing themselves, just growing or making themselves, then it's a little easier because they're both because they're the manufacturer and the supplier. But if you had to go through a supplier, then now you have another problem.
Are you talking about that your friend or your child's safety being compromised if you try to pull them out? Is that what you're talking about?
That tends to be the problem. Yes.
I got another spin here for you. Anybody have brothers or sisters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anybody not have brothers and sisters? Okay.
Well, aren't you lucky? Aren't you a lucky one?
So let me ask you a question. So if you know somebody's dealing and your brother or sister is affected and they die, and you knew that this dealer was dealing and they die because of this dealer's drugs, how does that make you feel?
Angry, sad.
But why? Because you did nothing, or because they didn't listen, or what? Why? Why are you angry or sad?
Well, because they didn't get the help they needed, and they kept doing it.
Well, I think there's parts to that. Like, did you know that they were taking them?
Brothers and
before?
sisters? Yeah, of course you're gonna know. You know that.
At the end of the day,
I don't know, for a while.
I can't be responsible for other people's actions. So what they decide to do is up to them. I only can guide them in the direction that I think
It's better for them.
would be best for them. But at the end of the day, they make the choice. Again, it's a choice, and you either go down the path or you don't go down the path. There is no coming back.
See, I disagree with that. I take full responsibility. I have like friends younger, because my siblings are all older than me, but I have friends younger sisters that I've grown up with that I consider my sisters, and I take full responsibility if I know that one of them is doing something, or my nieces, my little cousins. Like if I know they're doing something, I take full responsibility for like, I know you're doing this. I'm not going to tell your parents, but I'm not taking full responsibility that you're not doing this anymore. And like, I'm going to set this straight because this isn't okay.
So you're gonna focus your time and energy on trying to do what's best for them when you could be focusing your time and energy on bettering yourself and
Yes.
just being.
Because it's still another life. I can control what I do.
Do you think you have more of a handle on getting them help than somebody at a rehab facility or the authorities? What makes you the authority on getting them help? Why wouldn't you go to their parents or go to a professional who was trained in managing a crisis like this?
I think part of it is that it's not that I would get them through it, it's that I feel, at least, and this is just my personal situation with my cousins, my nieces, like my friends' little sisters who I know and I trust, that they do trust me back, hopefully. I hope they do.
So it's a trust
And
factor.
that, yeah, it's a trust factor that if I go to their parents, now I've broken the trust, now I'm not going to know if they do something in the future, they're not going to come to me if something is wrong, whereas if they go through me, I can get them to the help that they need. And I can convince them, like, look, this isn't okay. They trust that I'm an older authority figure. You know what I mean? It's like, if I ever did anything wrong, I would go to my older sister, like the sister closest to me. I didn't go to my parents. I went to her and I'd be like, I don't know what to do. And like, I've had my nieces come to me. They've texted me before. They've texted their parents or told their older siblings, I did this. What do I do? It's a trust factor of, I'm not just gonna rat you out the first time you do something wrong. I'm gonna help you fix it, so that way if something really bad happens, you will still come to me.
But there's a difference between smoking your first cigarette and asking you, what do I do, versus potentially a life-threatening situation where they're on drugs and it's do something, or
But if they
could
come to
OD.
me, but if they come to me, they trust me enough to come to me, then I can get them to the help. I can be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do.
You can
We're
be
gonna
the
put you in this
facilitator.
program. Yeah. Rather
Because
than,
they come to you versus not going to anybody.
Exactly.
And then you can help steer them in the right path. You're not taking it on yourself,
Yeah.
but you are the point of contact. And everyone, and I'm sure your parents all told you growing up, you don't have to come to us if you have an issue, but please just go to somebody. Whether a parent, clergy, teacher, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be us as your parents. Go to someone you feel comfortable with too. And my kids have done that. My kids have reached out to the clergy over me plenty of time, and I didn't even know. But
The
they
clergy?
steered them at my synagogue, yes. And said whatever it was, they've had the conversations, and after the fact, they've said, "Oh, I spoke to so and so, and was the advice."
I went to my cousin Juji.
Oh, jeez.
Juji knows more about me than anybody on this planet. And I shared drugs and everything else with him, and problems with girls and everything else. But I will tell you, you can't get a life back if you lose it. So you have to make up your mind. It's a slippery banana, because it ain't always going to work out for you. You ever heard that saying, a husband and wife fight, you get one side or the other, and they get back together and you're on the outs? That's the way it is with friends and family as well. So you have to pick and choose. But remember, what you give is what you're going to get, Dylan. So if you don't care about nobody, then nobody's going to care about you. It's just the way life is. Are you prepared to handle that? Is that what you want? Will you circle around somebody in this circle to help them? I'm not going to ask Teddy, because Teddy picks up strangers off the street. And I know somebody like you, Teddy. Very dangerous situations we've been in because of it. But you're young. Look at the age factor, and you're a female. And again, don't get on me, female, male.
There is a double standard. I know you can all write to me because apparently I was told there
What?
isn't. But
She said
my
there were
mind,
two
there
males
is.
in the car.
yes,
She said that, not me.
yes.
So there is that double standard. But you have to be careful. If I'm your father and you did that again, I'd take your car away.
Just for the record, I wouldn't have done it if I was alone.
Okay, that's good. Would you pick up a stranger in the street that needed your help? There was an example we started out here, Dylan, before we started.
It depends what kind of help they need. If they had a flat tire, then yeah.
No, she was lost. She was out of her mind. She was out there, intoxicated.
Oh, well, would I pick them up? Well, I'd probably ask them, what do they have a friend's house they can go to?
All of that was asked and no. She was desperate on an island. Would you
She
pick
was
her up and take her
stranded
to her
She was
friends?
stranded at a football game.
She was, would I pick her
And
up?
drunk out of her mind.
I'd probably just let it go by.
Teddy picked her up, and then the woman accused her of kidnapping her. And I'm going to tell you something, Teddy. If a police officer comes and hears that, they will arrest you. Freddie did that to me when he was a baby.
Really?
Yes, we went to see Gio. I went with Freddie when Gio wasn't born, and Gio was in Michelle's belly. And he did not want to leave his mother's side. We went up the elevator to go to the parking lot. He was screaming like a madman. And there was a cop in the elevator, and he said, "Help me, this man is kidnapping me."
Oh.
Freddie must have been 4, around there, 4. And this cop drew a gun. He put a 45 to my head. He says, "Get on your belly now." He was an FBI agent. And it took 20 minutes of me almost having diarrhea with this gun in my face
Oh my God.
to get it cleared up. Now, Freddie doesn't remember because he was a baby, but Michelle heard about
Have you
it.
told Freddie the story?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why you must be careful when somebody screams fire in a movie theater. And you can get arrested. You will get arrested if somebody accuses you of kidnapping until they can straighten it out. Now, if you get all humped up about, "Oh, I'm helping you," and you get rowdy, you know what happens when people get rowdy around a guy with a gun? You could lose your life.
Yeah.
So again, I ask you, you got to double, triple think what you're going to do before you do it, because it may be the last thing you do, not because it's not the right thing to do, but today's day, it's the dangerous thing to do. Would you pick her up at a football game?
I would not.
Hector, would you?
Pick her up and drive her to where to safety. No, but like I did say, just ask her if she has a phone The phone owner, if it doesn't have charge, just wait in the parking lot till it does charge up so it can finally call somebody.
I think the lift would have been a better idea. I like that idea because you knew where you had to go, right?
Not until if I had stayed in the parking lot and let her charge her phone for like 20 minutes and then got her friends and then got her a lift,
Yeah.
then yes.
Okay.
But at that point, I honestly wouldn't have the patience to do that.
Okay. Well, there's other things you could do with your life.
All right, let's go to commercial break. Give us a call.
Whoa.
I'm
Okay.
going to give you a
You,
break.
you better make sure you
Oh,
better
I
turn
gotta
them
do that
buttons
too.
on. That's right.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995. More with 2020 Vision with the crew of the Brooklyn Cafe TV. Stay tuned. They'll be right back.
Cruise Planners, an American Express travel representative, has a tremendous reputation for quality, service, and very competitive pricing for all of your travel needs. As a Cruise Planners travel advisor, Paul Vadiano will help you discover exciting adventures around the world, from cruises to land tours and completely packaged vacations. Paul specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation, wedding, or event just for you. Find Paul at www.cruiseoptics.com, on Facebook, or by phone at 561-232-2626. We make your travel dreams come true.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
Welcome back to 2020. I totally thought we were going to open on you guys, but welcome back to 2020 Vision. We were asking all sorts of fun ethical questions. We're going to continue with them. Kelsey's got some more fun ones.
So, do you guys want to talk about robots or family or
Robots.
Family.
Robots.
Robots, definitely robots.
Definitely
Robots.
robots.
I heard robots first.
Definitely
So,
robots.
At what point does it become unethical for robots to replace human jobs? Because that's what we're seeing a lot recently.
Oh yeah, there's new like AI out there all the time. New cyborgs AI. We're getting androids now. What's that
Companies
weird
save
robot
money.
thing?
What?
There's some robot thing that like can make facial expressions like a human and it's learning. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, I remember. Oh, I saw that thing.
Do you feel it's unethical for companies to save money when the price is
Considering that
human
this-
jobs?
Considering that this argument came out during the 70s when they started automating the auto industry, I can only say that there are certain that you kind of need to draw a line between the jobs that can be done by machines and jobs that really do require the human touch. Like what we do right here, you can get a computer or an algorithm to basically copy our speeches and responses, but it's always going to feel artificial, like you are in fact reading off of script that was made by someone who doesn't really understand what it means to be a person.
Are we
person.
at risk of you guys replacing us with robots in 2020?
Absolutely not.
Automated 2020.
With robots, I don't even have that to do the soundboard. No, absolutely not.
But compared to but even then, the idea of manufacturing things like manufacturing, quality control, security, and even video editing nowadays being done by algorithms. I still say that those sort of jobs do require the human touch.
But I think there's some jobs that definitely could be replaced. Those like soul crushing jobs that people have to work in the factories where they're underpaid in dangerous situations. Like, yeah,
I agree.
Get a robot to do that.
But even then, do those people not also deserve some sort of gainful employment?
No, they do. But that means that if those like lower jobs don't have to be done with humans anymore, in my idealistic world, that means that the next lowest paying job, or lowest entry whatever needed job, is going to be a less soul crushing, more meaningful work.
But those jobs would already be fulfilled by people. You're just cutting out the lower layer and replacing that with robots. What happens to those people?
There'll always have to be jobs in my mind. There's always has to be someone who has to program the robots. There always has to be someone to manage the building of it, to watch over them.
True, but there's a guy who's tried to do coding. Coding is not easy.
It's not easy. But
that would be the solution then. Replace the dangerous part with robots, but then train those people how to operate the machinery?
I think so. I mean, that's what we're doing now. We have that with a lot of surgeries. A lot of surgeries are done by robots. Now they're automated, but you have a surgeon operating the machine. So the surgeon hasn't lost his job. He just needed to learn to operate the machine so there's less of a scar and less...
chance for malpractice?
Yeah. And danger of complications. But like the surgeon didn't lose his job. He's still the surgeon. He's just now a surgeon who operates the special machine.
So then the workspace changes, right? The different types of jobs. So you go from factory workers to now needing more technology jobs to program, to go into the digital space, to go with the times.
But the thing is, and this is at least my perspective on the junk, is not everyone can be a technician or an engineer.
You're right.
Some people are good at engineering. Some people go through school being good, either liking going to shop classes or being good at math.
But how many engineers are there out there who are great engineers, but they can't get a job in engineering, so they work as something else? Now that the need for engineers grows, those people go to that job, and people who can't engineer take up whatever they're doing. Again, in my idealistic world.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, the thing that you were describing is kind of an issue with, the field that I studied. There are a lot of people who go in animation and game design, knowing their chops, being good at it. But what that does is now that game companies, film companies, have the ability to hire a lot of people, a lot of talent, and once the project's over, just ditch them. And I
mean, that's just how that industry goes, though.
Yeah, but the only reason they do that is, one, we're not unionized. We should totally start unionizing the game industry, by the way. And two is because there is so many people looking for that kind of work.
But they're not all, like, in that specific field, in entertainment and the art field, they are disposable. But in a technician field, you're not disposable. Like, the robot's not just going to learn to operate itself.
No, but you can always find another person to fix the machine.
But why find another person if you have one doing it?
But there are those machines where it can take the job of 50 people and it only takes one person to operate it. So what happens to the other 49?
I don't know. What do you guys think? I really don't know.
I think, like I said before, there needs to be a clear definition of what requires an actual person and what requires a machine.
And do you think that the changing job space in the tech world has changed the interpersonal relationships of your generation? The ability to have conversations with each other, the workplace interactions? Manuel, you say yes?
I think so, yes. Because nowadays it's by text. Everything by text. We don't talk.
I think though texting is still communicating. Like the same way that I would call my sisters on the phone, I would just text them. I think our speech and the way we speak has just gotten more concise and to the point. Because instead of having to hi, all this small talk, how's your day, how's your dog, what's the what, I can just be like, hey, what are you doing today? Like I don't have to go through the whole spiel of small talk, which I don't think is a bad thing. I just think it's a different thing. I think that's the difference.
Faster? You think?
Faster.
It changes the structure of the conversation though, because so much could be misconstrued over text. Like at work we use Slack, but it's all very much about not very much. There are some like memes thrown in there, but very much about business and to the point, so nothing can be, taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
And you're not reading through paragraphs on people's days, it's just about work, and that kind of takes away from that relationship aspect.
But that means that if you want to have that relationship with someone, in my mind anyway, then you have to work for it. Like, I don't, at my old job, I didn't want to be friends with every single one of my coworkers. And I didn't have to be. I didn't have to have big, long conversations with them. Like, the ones that I wanted to be friends with, and this is again just me, I went on my way to have a personal relationship with them and talk to them more. And anyone I didn't want to have, friends with, I didn't have to. I could just be like,
Has anyone had a misunderstanding over text?
Oh, yeah.
I have plenty of those, and that's
You?
yeah.
Manuel?
I've got some,
Hector?
yeah.
Yeah, but normally when I misunderstand something, I always ask to clarify.
I usually call. If I have a misunderstanding, that's when I'll call someone.
But what happens when you don't know there was a misunderstanding? If you're
That's
if
true.
you're texting and you don't see the person and now they've got this horrible opinion about you and you don't know because you don't know they misunderstood something you said.
What happens when the conversation escalates and you know that you said something in a text that was taken out of context and you were kidding
Yeah.
and they've taken it as not kidding and then you're backpedaling, but I didn't mean it that way, and then the text just escalates and at this point you've upset everybody in the whole conversation and the text continues. Even the dating.
Yeah.
I can tell you my daughter, if I ever get to bring her up on this dating thing, the dating apps, they don't even exchange phone numbers. It's all through texting. How do you ever get to date someone to get to that point?
Why don't
over
you
a
make
text?
phone calls as millennials? Why is everything texting?
I make phone calls, so I can't.
I mean, I make a phone call to my primary physician. I don't text my primary physician.
No, I'm talking about if you wanted to have dinner with somebody or
date.
meet somebody.
Well, look,
A date.
you
Why,
have-
why would I?
example.
Why would I text my primary physician when I could just?
Well, Dylan, you were trying to go out with a girl. And you even said you're going back and forth on texting on a day and a time. What if you just picked up the phone and called her and said, all right, can we meet this day, this place, this time?
I tried that, but that didn't work. So then I went back to texting.
Did it work better?
I haven't really.
Haven't solidified
Yeah.
the plan yet.
I think it depends on what the plan is and like how much you care for the person. Like when my boyfriend asked me out, he called me, he didn't text me. But last night I was trying to hang out with one of my friends, and it wasn't an urgent like, oh, I really want to see you. She's like, hey, we're going out. Do you want to come with us? And I just texted her. So I think it's the urgency, the how much you care about the situation.
The level of the relationship.
Yeah, the level too.
Manuel?
I agree. Yeah.
At least
Good
you didn't-
answer.
at least you didn't say what's the question. There you go.
I got a question. Something old school. You ever take a bouquet of roses and you put it on the girl's windshield at her job? Now, don't do it at 9 o'clock in the morning. You do it
They're gonna die?
in the afternoon. Yeah. In the afternoon, like 4:45. And you put it on there with a card that says, I just want to have dinner. That's it. And you leave your name and number. Now, assuming you know the woman. Now, don't go and find a stranger to do that.
Do you know her?
Yes.
Does she know who you are?
Have you had conversations before?
Yeah.
Or is this
Yes.
your first
Are you
interaction?
Oh,
on a
yes.
first name basis?
Yes,
Oh,
all
I'm
that.
gonna think you're a stalker.
Exactly. You know the
And that's the
person.
answer. And that's my answer. I don't do that because A, flowers are expensive, and B, I'm pretty sure it's going to come off way more aggressive than me just asking her in person.
No, I think it'd be super cute.
I think,
you
listen,
don't
I'm going to
feel
tell you,
right.
it never failed me in the day. Never
No, it was
failed me in
yeah,
the
it was
day.
the 70s. What was the 70s? back
No, try 80s, 90s.
Another question: the window of opportunity for dating when you meet somebody online,
I hate
and if
this
they don't, like back in the day, I remember, right? The guy wouldn't call you, or there wasn't texting until Wednesday to go back out on the weekend. Is there still this thing on dating on certain days? Can weeks go by and then they reopen the conversation? Is there a standard anymore?
I don't think so. I think because
Nope.
of dating apps and because of texting and everything, everything's so fast. You just talk immediately. At least in my experience.
You can also see when the person's read your message.
Yeah,
so
that
kind
helps.
of, if you see they read the message on the Monday and they didn't bother to respond until Wednesday, it kind of takes, something out of it a little bit.
And texting is so easy that you're just like really you can respond like thank you or like yes or no within 30 seconds.
I mean, I've had people read the text message and they say that they responded, but they never hit send.
That's true.
I've done that though.
I've
It
done
never
that,
hit
yeah.
send.
Yeah, they type it out and then they didn't hit send and they thought that they responded, but then they look back at their.
Is that what they tell you?
Well, I mean, my friend from back home in Connecticut, she does it all the time. Just
All the time.
yeah.
More than once.
More than once. So word to the wise, pick up the phone. If you can send a text message,
No,
right?
she doesn't send. She doesn't hit
Call.
send.
Call. No,
She
forget
types it
about-
out but doesn't hit send.
Can you hit the green button? If you can't hit the green button, you shouldn't have a phone. And the other thing is that I think you guys have become very insensitive to communication. Everything you do is via your text phone because you want to hide behind the box. You don't want to have accountability because you don't want rejection. You don't want to feel bad. You don't want somebody to say no. You don't want to live the real world. Well, in the real world, you see, look at this one. In the real world, no is part of the problem. You got to be able to take rejection, wipe it off, and keep going. Otherwise, how are you going to learn how to go into a world as crazy it is now and be afraid to ask somebody via text? I never heard of something so informal. You want to date somebody, but you don't have the nerve to call them on the phone? Think about that. Does that make sense?
They're all looking at you, but thinking, but this is what it is. This is the way they date now.
And when you're 30, you're going to keep texting? When are you going to grow up?
I think that's
40?
true.
Danielle?
50? 90?
At that point, you can just telekinesis some of your thoughts.
Is that what it is? Do something different than what everybody else around you is doing and see if that works.
I will say I'm sorry to keep talking about him. When my boyfriend asked me out, when he did call me the next morning, and he called me almost every day after that. When we were talking.
Matured?
It did feel a lot better than him just texting me like, "Hey, last night was really fun."
Holy smoke. It feels a whole lot better.
But like, I also have a friend who calls me every day just to tell me about her day, and at some point I'm like, I don't need all this information. You can just text me what your question is. Like every day she calls me, and I love talking to her. She really is one of my best friends. But
Well, not
sometimes,
anymore.
Like, stop calling me, please.
Teddy, you gotta go up and talk to your friends and your parents now.
Put a block on her number.
You know, that's why they have the mute button, Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Yeah, keep talking.
But that's what I think it is. It feels really special when you have that relationship with someone that you want to talk to them, but at some point it just gets too much. I'm like, I don't need to hear about your whole day. I don't need to hear about everything that happened, every stoplight you stopped at. Like, don't call me every day.
Well, that's a different circumstance. Number one, that's a female. Number two, she's just letting that
Well,
go.
like, if my boyfriend does that, it's totally fine.
Now, let me ask you a question because we're running out of time. Real quick. A guy texts you every day or calls you every day. Which is more, this guy's interested in me, the texting or the phone call?
Phone call.
The phone call.
Yeah.
If a girl calls you every day or she texts you every day, is she interested in you more with the texting or the phone call?
But it's about the content of the conversation, not what they're doing. If my boyfriend texts me something really meaningful, but he calls me and he's like, "Hey, what's up?" then I prefer text.
So you're okay to argue on text, just not a phone call? Because you don't want to hear the argument?
Because now you have proof. If they have to write it out,
Proof.
I could go back and be like,
What
"Hey,
do you
you
know?
said this. I can see it in writing."
As opposed to him acting like a Nimrod and doing it in real life.
But also, I think when you text, you think about what you're saying more.
You do?
If I'm in an argument with
misconstrued.
someone, yeah.
What if it's out of context? What if I say the wrong thing in text? I didn't mean it that way.
But he meant it when he said it in person. I'm kidding. We gotta go.
But the funny thing is, I guess I'm sorry doesn't work in text. It only works on the phone. Doesn't
No,
make any
it does work
sense.
on text.
Oh, that's my
I
point.
think.
All right.
All right, guys, you want to wrap it up?
Cool. That was 2020 vision.
Oh, by the way, Teddy's mom says you did the right thing. I love you. Everything's going to be okay.
I love you, mommy.
I love you, mommy.
Tune in next week for 2020 Vision. Any comments or questions, you can text. You have your webpage up at your Instagram page up?
We do. We are getting 2020_vision on Instagram up and running.
Very
All right,
cool.
so you can find them there. Follow 2020 Vision. Stay tuned. We're going to be right back. 1 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
I'm sorry, it never works, by the way.
Are you ready for the challenge? Do you know what's coming? Are you ready to become a healthier you in 12 weeks? Welcome to Shred Zone. Shred Zone Fitness offers a personalized training program that you can do. With 30 minutes of time and online daily support, motivation, and a customized, easy, and flexible program designed with you in mind. Contact us at shredzoneonline.com and Shred Zone Fitness Studio, 561-331-2059. Shred Zone Online gives you 24/7 access to your personal trainer, personalized nutrition suggestions, strength training, and weekly accountability. Contact Shred Zone today at 561-331-2059. Let Shred Zone shred you to a better health. ShredZoneOnline.com or 561-331-2059.
Cruise Planners, an American Express travel representative, has a tremendous reputation for quality, service, and very competitive pricing for all of your travel needs. As a Cruise Planners travel advisor, Paul Vadiano will help you discover exciting adventures around the world, from cruises to land tours and completely packaged vacations. Paul specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation, wedding, or event just for you. Find Paul at www.cruiseoptics.com, on Facebook, or by phone at 561-232-2626. We make your travel dreams come true.
Hi, my name is Leslie Carmen, and I'm the founder from Carmen Care Laser here in Boca Raton. We've done so many treatments. We've treated people with severe back pain, knee pain. If your pain has been there for so many years, often...
Hey, how you doing? My name is Nick. I'm with Hey Mr. DJ Courtesy Limo. I service all of South Florida. We offer really great services. We offer DJ and limo service. When you book the DJ service through us, you get the Courtesy Limo for the entire day. My office number is 561-507-4376. Mention Yelp or Google, you get 15% additional savings.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would just listen? It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power. A platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions. A voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have the platform to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 80800. That's CAFE to 80800.
Cruise Planners, an American Express travel representative, has a tremendous reputation for quality, service, and very competitive pricing for all of your travel needs. As a Cruise Planners travel advisor, Paul Vadiano will help you discover exciting adventures around the world, from cruises to land tours and completely packaged vacations. Paul specializes in all types of travel and will create an unforgettable vacation, wedding, or event just for you. Find Paul at www.cruiseoptics.com, on Facebook, or by phone at 561-232-2626. We make your travel dreams come true.
It's lunchtime, and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from Studio A in the heart of Delray Gallery, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free at 888-565-1470 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Hey, welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe, part 2 of 1 plus 3, and then there's 4.
Dylan, 10, 7.
Dylan, is anyone going to do sound? We need sound.
Kelsey's
Somebody
on
got to do
sound.
sound. Welcome to Brooklyn Cafe. You saw part 1, 2020 Vision. That was an interesting aspect. I am so happy I don't have to be a parent no more.
You're always a parent.
No,
Grandparent.
no, I'm done. I'm going to go to Alaska. I'm done.
If you want to check out 2020, hit rewind and rewatch it. It's the whole millennial perspective on morals, ethics. I think the biggest question was, if you see someone in trouble and they're intoxicated, do you take them in your car or not?
And you don't know who they are.
You don't know who they are.
The legal answer is you probably should not, unless you owe them a duty, because then once you put them in your car, then you have the legal duty.
It becomes your responsibility.
It becomes your responsibility.
Now, let me ask you a question. If I pick up a drunk person, I don't know who they are, I'm taking them home because they had a driver's license, I'm assuming that's where they live, and I get into a car accident, and this person has injuries, that becomes my responsibility, isn't it?
That's what I just
in
said
your
to you.
vehicle.
I mean, in a car,
you invited
hitting
them.
somebody.
You invited them in. You rifled through their wallet to get their driver's license. That alone could cause you issues.
I had to rifle through her wallet to find out where I was going.
Did you have to, or did you
I
choose
did.
to?
It just fell out of her pocket.
So
Drops the evidence, baby.
So I'm not a criminal attorney, and I don't profess to have full knowledge of this, but I would say, based on my basic knowledge of remembering what law school taught me, yes, once you have them in your car, they're your responsibility.
And yes, that is Pam Polani we have on set with us. We've got Eddie Casimir from Shred Zone. Shred Zone shredded up. She says, why? I said, we're going to get Pam's cute little booty into shape. She's always saying, I need a home workout program. Well, we brought one to you.
That's it.
Love it.
See that?
And Pam, this guy you could be working at your desk and they have an exercise. You could be shopping at Publix, they have an exercise.
Does that exercise start with the letter K? I just want to know.
The letter K?
Yeah.
The hell's
Don
that?
will get it.
Letter K?
5 letters.
Oh, yes, that too.
Yes, that too.
That's the easiest part of that whole thing.
No?
Yeah, that's the easy part. What
Okay.
he's going to put you through, you're going to say.
Do you know what that is?
Yes. Of course I do.
Are we allowed to say that on the air? I'm
You are
not
not.
sure.
You're not.
I am not.
It's Kingoling.
What do you knew?
Of course.
I'm impressed.
I'm not completely stupid. I did have a sister.
Well, I did
now.
happen to hear you say to millennials that you shouldn't text, you should call. And my millennial children will tell you that's a waste of time.
Why? Because people don't talk no more.
But even a phone call, you know what? You're saying a phone call, but the generation before you would say, why are you calling me? Why don't you come over and spend time with me so I can actually see you and look at you in the eye, right? So every generation has their own form of communication.
So why is it that kids, when they go to college, they call home for money?
That's because you haven't enabled them to make their own
No,
money.
that's because I don't read their texts.
My children never call me for money because
Really?
they usually call me to say, "Why did you take all the money out of my account? It's my money, and how come it's now in your
I see
account?"
you send the money in the account.
Ariel, I love you.
Give us a call. Join our conversation. 888-565-1470. I think Joe is on the board. You can also find us at 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. If you see our collection jar on the table, Pam, you don't even know, but
I do
this
know.
Is you.
This was my idea with
This is your
Michelle
idea with
Belisari.
Michelle Belisari.
It was your idea?
So Michelle Belisari called me and she said she had this great idea. And I said, what is it? And she told me, and I said, great, just make sure you bring it to Dawn on when you're on the show. And I said, I'm sure Dawn will do it. And so she called Dawn to confirm that you would be okay with it. Our original idea was, I said that it should be in a cooler, like a
water bottle.
Like not a water bottle, like a big cooler. You know, like what you would hold all your drinks and whatever. Because I thought, well, then they could donate the cooler to the Bahamas, and glass breaks, right? But I can see this is Michelle's like little touch with a little, pineapple. If you've ever been to her house, she loves all that Floridian look. So, but in any case, yes, the idea is everybody is very gung ho right now about the hurricane, and that is obviously something we are very sensitive to. Mm-hmm. I lost my home to Hurricane Andrew, and I will tell you, and it's beyond devastating. Several years later, I'm still hiding under my bed every time a bad storm comes through. So. But everybody's so gung-ho and they want to donate supplies. They don't want your clothes. They don't. They have no place to store it right now. The clothes are just going to get moldy and wet. And they need your money. They really need your money. Not to say that they don't need supplies at all, but they really need money. Leave this to the professionals to help them. That is what they are in the position to do. And we really need your change. So Change for Change in the Bahamas. Change. And yes, and I was supposed to bring my pile of change, and I'll have to bring it again.
I left mine at the door. Listen, Pammy's entitled to that opinion. If you got clothes you want to bring in, I will sell the clothes and I'll turn it into money. So you bring me what you got, I'll make it.
If somebody wants to give clothes, I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm just saying on top of everything else, they really need money.
People give a lot of clothes because they want to clean their closets and all that. I said plastic wrap is needed because everything's wet.
Wrap the pallets.
And
but there's a lot of things that are needed, and yes, funding is always needed. And today, actually, Bahamas Strong, they are heading over with Kirsten Stevens, and she is heading over today over to the Bahamas, and she's going to be coming live into our show, I believe, on Thursday.
Thursday from the Hurricane Center in the Bahamas.
Right where she is.
We're going to get firsthand. We're going to talk to the person in charge down there and everything firsthand. You're going to be able to see it right here.
And there's a lot of amazing people in our community who are spearheading, and lots of places like you that are taking donations, and all that's important. But I think that the most important thing I really do say is you need to give them money. They have to be able to buy the supplies that they need at the time. Tarps are really important too. They definitely need that as well. Good shout out to my friend Tish Layer, who actually is through her construction company is trying to collect a lot of tarps to help. But again, nothing you do is going to be not worth it. So if you want to give clothes, by all means, give clothes. But they really do need money.
Eddie, you're a first responder, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank you so much. No, seriously, thank you so much. That is a huge responsibility in our community.
It is, but it's something I enjoy. I enjoy doing it, honestly. My passion is helping others, so anything I can do to help the community, help others, and do the things that I'm obligated to do, because I feel like this is an obligation to be able to help others. You're here not just for yourself, you're here for everybody, so I'm obligated to do that, so that's why I like to do it.
We sent first responders from Miami-Dade down to the Bahamas, and they're working at a 10-block radius. They found 5 bodies yesterday. I don't know if you saw that on the news. I'm going to tell you, and they asked them how long they're going to stay there, and they said, we're going to stay here for the duration.
They're probably there for a while.
And they're staying for a while. I mean, you talk about dedication and doing what they got to do, and they showed a little bit about how you guys work, and there's a lot of debris, and they found these bodies that weren't laying on top of nothing. They had to go down to get it. It brings me flashbacks down to 9/11. And I tried to get down to 9/11, and they sent me back. I could not get in. My friend went. The way they were going down to find bodies is a technique. And you can hurt yourself if you don't know what you're doing, seriously speaking. But again, my hat's off to those guys from Miami-Dade.
Yeah, a lot of time before you go, you actually go to a training before you actually go. So you know exactly what to do, how to do it in the process. It's not just, all right, let's go.
Give me a hammer and go.
It's not like that. You literally have to go to a training, and they get you ready a week prior, and then you go.
I love your attitude, though. Muhammad Ali actually once said, that giving back to others is the rent you pay on this earth.
Yep.
Right? The more you're given, the more you are obligated to give back.
It's funny because Dylan's over there. I was actually going to ask him that on 2020. We were talking about helping others. And he said, why would you help others if you need to help and better yourself first? And I think, Pam, your answer right there was exactly the words I was looking for, is your debt to society is really the growth in who you are, is what you do for others, is the personal growth you have. Just my opinion.
Well, you're right, because you can have all the wealth in the world and you can sit in the closet and have no friends and nothing else. If you don't do something with it, you're going to be at a loss.
But the thing is, people have to understand money is not necessarily the root, the major thing. Is really what you have to offer yourself.
Giving your time.
Giving time. Time is the most valuable thing, not money.
Because you can never get that back.
It's not money that's the most valuable. So if you give your time to somebody else, like you said, you give your time to somebody, whether it's listening to a conversation, because sometimes people just want somebody to listen. Whether it's listening, whether it's help, whatever it is that you can help others, it's gonna make you feel better in the long run as well. As you help others, you see how they succeed. It makes you feel better yourself, and as it's making you feel better, you're actually gonna grow yourself as a person, as a human being.
And you're both in that business. You're both in the personal development, give back, service business. As an attorney, Pam, and what you do with estate planning, and Eddie as a first responder and with Shred Zone.
Correct.
You're always in that space of helping people.
Yeah. Making it a little bit more manageable. But along the way, you can teach lessons as well.
But it's not even that. It's also the experiences that you and I probably have when we work with clients and things like that. So one of the things, unfortunately, I have to do a lot as a probate attorney is I go to a lot of funerals. And the saddest is always going to a funeral for a client who had no one. Mm-hmm. And it's really difficult to sit with someone like this, right, before they die, because they've outlived everyone. And I ask, well, but what charities are you involved in? And if they say none, right, it's almost heartbreaking. No one goes and attends the funeral. The person who's officiating the funeral has very little to say because the person never extended themselves to others. And really and truly, at the end of your days, you want someone to remember you. And they're not going to remember you if you don't give. So I always say, a lot of times people will say to me, and Dawn knows, we always joke about it. People ask me, do I ever stay home? Am I ever still, right? And the answer is, of course I do, right? But the truth is I do try to give back of my time and my energy as much as I can, because at the end of the day, there will be plenty of time to sleep, okay? I have no doubt of that. But right now is my time to actually give thanks and blessings to others, because I have been so incredibly blessed. And I'm I'm reminded of that every day. Every day I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I say, thank God I woke up. And just that little bit, just that in itself is so important to remember. You woke up. Not everybody had that privilege.
Privilege of gratitude.
And coming up, January 31st, you have moved the date, and you have not, but the committee has moved the date up of the Brain Bowl this year. Instead of April, like it has been the past 2 years, the Brain Bowl is now in January, which is right around the corner.
We actually have had it in February, we've had it in March. Yes, this last one was April. But yes, it's January 31st is the Brain Bowl. And if you don't know what the Brain Bowl is, right, it is the luncheon that I have created. It's a nonprofit of its own that actually gives back to other nonprofits dealing with Alzheimer's. It is the only organization that I know of that has brought in several nonprofits to raise money and awareness for a disease. Breast cancer doesn't do this. Prostate cancer doesn't do this. This is the only one that brings in other organizations to have awareness for all of them. The disease is so rampant in our community. Palm Beach County is hit hardest with dementia and Alzheimer's. And I created the Walk to End Alzheimer's, which will be on November 10th and
Apparently,
Sunday.
I hear it's your birthday.
It's my 50th birthday.
Hey.
So if anybody comes and donates $50 on November 10th, they get an invite to have a little party with me after the walk. So 50 is
So if I
nifty.
give $100, I get twice the party?
You'll get 2 cupcakes. You'll get 2 cupcakes.
Where is the walk at?
The walk on November 10th, it's a Sunday. It's the only walk in the state of Florida on a Sunday. And we bring people all in from the Tri-County area. It's going to be in Meisner Park. It starts early, 7 in the morning. The walk is actually no charge. You don't have to pay anything.
But it's your birthday.
But it is my birthday. And out of respect for my birthday, 50 is nifty. I would really appreciate everyone donating at least $50, although 100's better because then you get a T-shirt. So, yes, you get a T-shirt for $100. And if you donate onto my team, I would be happy to walk with you, but I would also be happy to raise awareness as well as celebrate my 50th with you after the walk.
That's very cool.
I'm trying to figure out what drink is purple, so that we could actually give adult beverages. Butterfly tea.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody write that down so that we can remember.
I have a fruit that you.
If you put lemon in tea, butterfly tea.
No, I have a fruit that you put it in drinks and turns it purple.
Yeah, if
You know, that's illegal in most states, Freddie, so be careful.
It's a legitimate fruit.
I'm saying if a woman wakes up next to you and doesn't know how she got there, that's a problem.
It's not a roofie. Sarah grows it. It's a regular deal.
Pam, you made Freddie very nervous.
Yes, yes, she does.
Do I make you a little nervous?
Yes, we can make the purple cauldron.
Well, I'm promising purple cupcakes. That is what I'm promising. So, but yes, we'll be having a party. Actually, I'll give them a shout out. Afterwards, I won't tell you the location until you register, but it will be in Meisner. So, but $50 gets you an invite to the birthday bash.
Oh, you got that. That's not a big deal.
Awesome.
What about if we take our crew and you put in a team? You said we walk down as a Brooklyn Cafe.
I would love that.
You guys want to wear your best?
I would love that.
Maybe white gloves.
In fact, tonight actually is the kickoff for the walk. So if you're interested possibly in walking to end Alzheimer's, and you should, whether you know someone with the disease or you are a taxpayer in this county, you are affected by Alzheimer's. 1 in 3 in this county right now is impacted with Alzheimer's and dementia over the age of 65. So you are impacted whether you like it or not. You're the one who's paying for when they go wandering. It costs a lot of money for the first responders to go out and find them. You are paying for the people who can't afford their care. You are paying in a multitude of ways, unfortunately, for this horrific disease. So if nothing else, come out, support. We need the numbers. The more people who come to the walk, that's why the walk does not charge. The more people who come out to the walk on November 10th in Meisner Park, the more people will send a strong message to our legislature saying we need money. This is the only major disease in our country that does not receive significant funding on a government level. The only one. And yet it's impacting our community beyond belief. It is the silver tsunami.
The walk is November 10th. The luncheon is January 31st.
Right.
And obviously everyone's still looking for sponsorship. Are the
Oh,
organizations the same that of last year? Is Parkinson's still involved?
No, so Parkinson's, unfortunately, and we're really sad because we know a lot of people were encouraged that Parkinson's was involved last year. We actually raised the money and then distributed out to Alzheimer's Association, Alzheimer's Community Care, the Memory Wellness Center, the Lewis and Lewis Memory Wellness Center at FAU. And this year, because Parkinson's actually moved their offices out of Boca, they are only in Miami, and we try to keep everything local in Palm Beach County. We're actually really happy to announce that it's going to be the Bernie Marcus Neuro Institute is going to be involved. So I think I butchered their name, I apologize. But that's the institute is with the Boca Raton Regional Hospital, and it is the leading facility in Boca dealing with these type of cognitive disorders.
Do you have a theme this year? Because I know
we do.
What's the theme?
I love when I get led like this. Okay, just give me the leash and pull me, baby. Okay, so yeah, I love
toes,
it.
Please.
Yeah. Well, my toes are a whole other thing. But that's an inside joke. Sorry.
No, that's not inside. We all know about it. But go ahead.
The theme this year is actually aging through the generations. Unfortunately, what has happened is because it is such a catastrophically expensive disease, the children in a family end up becoming caregivers. So we are going to be focusing on how children become caregivers of people with dementia and Alzheimer's. And we're going to do a fashion show with local celebrities. And they are going to be walking down the aisle in a fashion show with their grandchildren to show how caregiving impacts every generation. That's awesome. So, yeah,
And
thank you.
Connie Siskowski's organization is going to be part of this.
It is. the American Association of Caregiving Youth is going to hopefully have a speaker, and we're trying to find someone. So if you know someone who is a young man or woman who unfortunately was a caregiver in their teens, please contact me.
A caregiver of any type or just for neurological disorders?
We would prefer that they were caregiving for somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia. Unfortunately, the amount of suicide from teens is really high. When grandma dies and the teen has given up everything to take care of grandma, gave up football, gave up ballet, gave up soccer, gave up friends, after school activities, so that they could be home to take care of grandma so mom could work. And when grandma dies, which is unfortunately, just a result of aging, the teen takes it very seriously and on themselves and feels a lot of guilt. And so teen suicide happens to be very high with teen caregivers. So this is really an epidemic that we would like to see stop. Connie Siskowski with AACY is helping us with this, and we want to highlight her and her efforts. And if you know someone who is a teen or a little older, we want to hear your experience. Come and talk to us at the Brain Bowl, and we would love to share what you're doing because we want to put a highlight so that maybe other families won't have to do this. If we can raise enough money, maybe one day children won't be responsible as caregivers. That is the goal.
At the radio station, when we come back, Eddie, I want to get because you knew exactly the teen suicide rate. Not the rate, but just the epidemic of what it is. Give us a call at the radio station. Any questions, you can leave comments, 888-565-1470. We are more than happy to get the information out to Pam and her chair and her board for Alzheimer's, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or carmencarelaser.com.
Sexy, seductive, and beautiful. Looking for a professional and talented photographer? Danielle Boujon specializes in capturing flirtatious and tasteful images for yourself or your partner. Located in South Florida, Danielle really knows how to bring out your inner beauty on a shoot. Visit her website at www.daniellebuljan.com or call her at 561-305-2241 to capture your most desirable moments.
Farrow Law Firm, standing up to corporate bullies, using innovative, aggressive, and effective strategies to resolve disputes effectively and timely. Contact us at 954-252-9818, online at farrowlawfirm.com, and on Facebook at Farrow Law Firm. We look forward to being of service to you.
Thank you for watching the Brooklyn Cafe, where every day is a new adventure. If you'd like to join Dawn and Freddie S. at the cafe, give them a call at 888-565-1470 toll free. Come on in for a cup of coffee or call to share a thought for the day and get all the information you need to help your business grow. Don't forget, sharing is caring, and to like this video. Let's reopen the cafe doors now. Back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we are back.
And hopefully those were not
I can't believe what goes on this show, I tell you. Hey, Joe, what is Jody wearing today, Joe?
What?
And Joe? And Joe?
I didn't notice.
You didn't notice? Holy smokes.
I didn't.
That bit doesn't work if you don't know.
You got it. There you go. Give us a call. We are live at the Brooklyn Cafe TV, 888-565-1470. Say hi to Joe. We're talking about the Brain Bowl, Alzheimer's. The luncheon is now January 31st at Boca West Country Club again.
Yes, that's right.
And the Walk for Alzheimer's is November 10th at Meister Park.
What day is November 10th?
Sunday. It's the only walk on a Sunday in the state of Florida.
A $50 donation will get you invited to Pam's 50th birthday party.
That's right. You too. And you two can get a cupcake.
And
Purple.
to donate to Freddie,
What?
2 donations, maybe you can have a special party with Pam.
Whoa.
Special
okay.
party. That's going to be a little more than $50, baby.
But we were
Then I
talking-
might have to charge you my hourly rate.
Part of the Brain Bowl is to really focus on the caregiving youth in our community.
I'm making Freddie sweat.
Yeah, Freddie's not been a good
I
day
was
for you
told
with
to
that.
behave today, so I'm being very nice and keeping.
Oh, I didn't
all
get that memo. Was I supposed to be behaving?
I'm keeping all pointed objects away from me.
Pointy objects?
If you have or know of a youth that has been a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's, please reach out. They're looking for speakers and to bring awareness and really to honor all of those youth that have been through the process. And Eddie, Pam had mentioned that teenage suicide is so rampant. Is this something that you've seen as a first responder or through Shred Zone?
Actually, no. I haven't seen it, but you actually can hear it and speak. Because I also coach a high school, the high school, so you can see some of the kids who are struggling, going through different things. So one thing that, like I said, I do a lot of personal development. So even in fitness, just training, personal training, it's dealing with a lot of personal development because you're literally a psychologist as well during the training process. Because it's a mental block and certain things usually occurs, and you literally have to dig. They'll never tell you. A teenager will never tell you what is wrong. That's one thing. They'll never tell you this is the situation, or this is what's happening, and this is why I feel this way. They'll never tell you, and you have to, as adults, as us, we literally have to sit down and talk and have conversation with them and understand where they're coming from or what's the problem with this situation. Because if you don't take the time to really find that out, they will take it the other way, and that's where they give up. And once they give up, there's really nothing you can do to get them back. It's literally taking that time to listen and taking that time to communicate with them, taking that time understanding the situation that they're going through. It could be something so simple that because from our time to now is two different things. Because we're looking at 2020, and what are we talking about? We're talking about talking on the phone and texting. So again, teenagers look at things totally different. So what we think it's easy when we were younger, it's not easy for them as them. So we have to take that in consideration and have conversation with them. So with the personal training and coaching as well, even when I'm coaching, I literally am paying attention to every single one and to understand where everybody's coming from. Yes, they're athletes, but again, they have different things going on as well in the back end. I'm not just there to train you as just a coach. I'm there to really elevate you as a person. Yes, the athletic is great, or fitness is great as well, but even if you have those, you still can have those different mentality situations, because I'm developing those as well. So that's why it's like I want to make sure when I'm dealing with a teenager, I'm training teenagers as well, and I'm always talking and always making them express their situation, not just in the fitness aspect, but in everything else that's going on in the back end. So because you can really tell what's going on in their mind when they start talking and expressing themselves. And then for me, I have a technique of having them making the decision rather than me telling them what to do. So it's kind of like when they make, in teenagers, when they make the decision, they actually follow through. When they make the decision, rather you tell them this is how you're supposed to do it, this is how it's going to help you, this is how you're going to change your mind, they be like, yeah, whatever. But when they actually come out and express their feelings and they make a decision, okay, I'm going to do this, and you actually follow through with them and say, okay, good, great decision, just keep it going, they actually get better to the point where that's going to help them develop better, develop and get stronger.
Like decision-making skills.
Correct.
And they take responsibility.
They take responsibility
right?
because they came with the solution, they came with the decision of what they want to do,
it's a tricky age, teenagers, right? Because they have their own problems, and then this becomes another layer of problems. I know somebody who went through this when she was a teenager, and she's an adult now, and it affected her. It affected her watching her grandmother go through this whole thing. And she hasn't grown out of it. You can still see it. They're still sensitive towards the deal. Juji's mother, we have that going on. My mother at a certain time had it as well. But Juji's mother's really bad. And she doesn't.
Yeah, I had a personal experience with that myself as a teenager, because I had that idea of doing that myself, of taking my life in different situations. And the thing is, when I was literally on my own in a way, but I had the point of giving up. Idea of giving up. Everything I do is wrong, or whatever the situation. And was it reality? It's to the point where I pushed myself through it and got out. That's why I became more of loving of helping others and actually building self-development and developing others. And I always have the passion of helping the kids, helping somebody else to get better. If somebody, like I said, if I have a friend next to me and they need help with success or whatever, I will give all the advice that I can to help them, to direct them to it. If they make it and I don't, I'm happy that they made it and I didn't.
Those who give the most are usually the most broken souls. They really are. I've never met somebody who was completely philanthropic, who did not have a deeply personal reason and hardship in their life. But you either make them stumbling blocks or you make them a footpath. Right? And that's the choice that unfortunately we have to instill in our children and in ourselves, that ability to overcome that thought process. You know, the best thing, and I know we're getting very somber, so I want to say something of inspiration that I heard this week, which I loved. The young Canadian who won Wimbledon, right? When she was interviewed and saying, how did she go from being an absolute nobody, not even ranked in the, you know, whatsoever as a tennis player, to winning, you know, and becoming now ranked number 5 in tennis. She said, visualization. Every year I saw myself winning $3.2 million, okay? And every year I upped it because the prize ups, right? And she goes, and I upped it, and I literally visualized myself. I was going through a lot of impairments, physical, mental challenges, and I just kept visualizing myself winning this and seeing that. And I think that is true for most of us. If you can't see it, if you can't visualize it, you will not become it. You've talked yourself out of it. I'm not a very big fan of labels. And my husband and I have discussed this, you know, when our children would do something and teachers would say, oh, well, your child is this. I didn't accept that. And you know, and I've never accepted labels for myself. People like to put me in a box and say, oh, Pam Polani is this. And I've never accepted that because I don't listen to that. That's not who I am.
Well, that lady in Canada, she's a good player.
She is,
but I love the visualization. I'm 57. I've been visualizing that 3.2 million for about 50 years. But you gotta have a little talent too. She's good. Maybe that she has some drawbacks, things of that nature that she had to work on, and that's how she overcame it. But she's a good player. You know, I laugh because I know that Dylan is a big Patriots fan, and they're playing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
They're playing the Dolphins this week, and I can't stand the Patriots.
Is that this week?
Yeah.
I'm a Patriots fan too, so you don't like me either?
The Dolphins could use some visualization.
I can't. You know why I don't like the Patriots? Because they're that good. And I got to tip my hat because Brady, he's the best. He's the best I've ever seen. And I seen Namath, I seen Barstow, I seen all these guys.
He's 42 years old. He's still doing what he's doing.
But it isn't only him. He makes other people around him better. It's the difference, right? So suicide among teenagers. They got their own gig going on. There's a lot of things going on. Who do you turn to? It's interesting. We had the conversation today on 2020 where we asked if you know a friend of yours, we asked the millennials, if you know somebody who's in trouble, would you go to the authorities to get him help? And they shy away from authorities. It's a trust factor. I think, is that what we were talking about, trust?
You know, that's so funny you say that because I was actually on the phone with a girlfriend driving home and the other day, and I saw a neighbor of mine, an older neighbor, and she was sweating profusely. And it's very hot out, right? And I said to my friend, hold on one second. I rolled down my window and I said to my neighbor, hey, do you want me to drive you home? She goes, no, I'm fine. I go, are you sure? Because you look really flushed, right? And she said, no, I'm fine. So I just drove really slowly and I just kind of followed to make sure she got home okay. And my friend was on the phone with me. She goes, that's so nice. I go, no, that's what I would want someone to do for me. Right. Why wouldn't you do that for other people, right? And you can't, you know, you can open up the door to help someone, and if they don't want to step through, that's fine. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't still be concerned, right? And make an effort.
But the thing is, when you're talking about them, it's the trust situation. I don't think it's necessarily trust. I think it's more of the fear of consequences, because they feel like if they help somebody and something happens, they feel like they're responsible. So it's the fear of what could happen. So in a lot of situations, because I come across it a lot of time especially when I was in the military and seeing a lot of different situations. People's always afraid to step in because they're afraid if they step in, they locked in, and something happened, they come to that responsibility.
But what's wrong with that? What's wrong being locked in and being committed? Aren't we all committed to one another?
Yeah, but it depends on what locked in means. Let me finish.
So that's the thing. People are have that fear because once they are in that situation, it's like you were talking about, it's really your responsibility. Like we're talking about you see somebody drunk and put them in your car. It's your responsibility. People don't want to feel that responsibility for somebody else. Because especially if they don't feel that responsibility for themselves, they feel like they're not together. They don't want to put that have a responsibility on somebody else. So they have that fear of doing that.
Well, the good point is we talk all the time about loving yourself.
Right.
Your point, right? If you love yourself, you respect yourself enough to take care of you, then you can pay that forward. But you have to care that much about you. Which I wanted to bring up, I saw Shred Zone for kids. I saw you made that post. And we have talked about this since Shred Zone became a sponsor with us. I love what you do for adults, but I'm truly passionate that I saw that for children.
Yeah. Like I said, my heart, I love kids. I love training kids. I love building their confidence. Because the thing is with fitness for kids, it's not just physical fitness. It's building up their confidence, their mental toughness, and being able to realize that they can do anything that they put their mind to.
And it goes to that responsibility, right?
Correct.
They love themselves and they feel confident, whether it be through Capoeira studio with you or however it is. They feel strong enough that, you know what, I can do this.
Exactly.
And then they become role models for the other kids.
For somebody else. Because the thing is, not only that is, as they training and they seeing certain things like, oh, and it's fun, but they see what they accomplish and how stronger they got and stuff like that. And like I said, I train some young girls. This young girl, I think she's 10 when she started with me. She's 11 now. She's lost weight. You can see her confidence changing. She's also doing the capoeira before. She was getting to it, whatever. Now she's excelling. She's even part of the demo team for the capoeira studio. So she's excelling in a lot of things, and you can see her pictures, her confidence, her face is changing, and all those occurs because not only I'm training her, I'm building her confidence, and the other kids are watching her train. They're like, oh, I want to do that too. To the point they can see her. She's standing tall now, and although she's starting to love herself more and realizing that she can do anything that she put her mind to.
98% of life is attitude.
Right.
So that's why Shred Zone Kids, that, like I said, I had that for a long time to get it going, but I decided let me just put it out, and that's why I put it on the website, and now it's available for Shred Zone Kids because I want the kids to feel that way. Like my son, he trains with me. He's 7. He's been trained. He's watched us work out since he was a baby. So at 3 years old, he was in the garage with me and my wife working out, just doing what we did. 6 years old, he started working out. Daddy, I want to work out too. 7 years old, he's literally doing the workouts with us and doing what an adult would do. Okay, the exercise exactly what an adult would do. What it does for him, it builds his confidence. I can do that. So anything is, he has that confidence saying, I can do that. No matter what you bring you put in front of him, he has the confidence, I can do that.
And this sets them up going forward in life. The younger you start with the good behaviors, even if you don't stick with them, you fall back on the foundation we talked about today, right? If you set up a good foundation, and if something happens and you become a caregiver for a grandparent or a parent, they know they have that to fall back on. Hopefully they can fall back on that strong mental mindset.
Which, by the way, people always ask me about Alzheimer's, like, if my mom has it, is there anything I can do about it, whatever? And the answer is really start a lot younger. Alzheimer's starts in your 20s. You just don't see the signs of it usually until mid-60s. So what you're doing is so wonderful because you really are bringing in that mind-body connection. There is a very strong link, they know this, that the healthier you are physically, the stronger you will be mentally. And that is a very strong thing.
When I was coaching, the rebound off the parents is what motivated me. I mean, I did it for 21 years. And everybody say, why? Your kids are growing up. Why are you doing it? It was the kids, yes, but look at the outcome on the parents when they see their kids change. My kids would have done more for me than even their parents, and they wanted to drink the Kool-Aid and say, what are you doing? I'm listening, and he's getting stronger, he's getting faster, and he's getting smarter. Watch the parents, because who you're coaching is not only the kids.
You're coaching the parents as well.
Coaching the parents.
They learn a lot. Let's go to commercial break. When we come back, more with Shred Zone Fitness. Let's talk about these personalized fitness programs that you can do from your office. You can do it after school. You can do it in studio. And Alzheimer's, the Brain Bowl coming up January 31st, 2020. Stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Can we do...
Let's all welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet TV radio production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make all your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes or live radio streaming as well as tape productions for social media platforms and television. AMP2 TV can handle all of your television needs, including closed caption for a perfect on-air telecast. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages or visit one of their many studios to get your creative juices flowing. Come and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's A-M-E, the number 2.tv, or call them at 866-224-5422. Feel free to call for a quote or just a consult of how to put your business on a social media platform or radio platform, or just doing a show that is covered by all platforms. Call 866-224-5422 and make an appointment. That's 866-224-5422.
Healing Moments Wellness Boutique specializes in integrating scientific and ancient therapies to relieve physical, emotional, and psychological distress. Through the power of touch, coaching, and meditation, clients experience pain relief, relaxation, healing, and detoxification. Contact Healing Moments Wellness Boutique at 561-931-2187 and experience Boca Raton's Healing Haven. Enjoy the benefits of an individualized treatment plan to help find your feelings of peace, complete balance, and wellness. Call Healing Moments today, 561-931-2187, and be rejuvenated.
What's with all the excitement? Join us at Game of Axes, Boynton Beach. The game is simple and learning to throw is fun and easy. For more information, search our website, gameofaxes.com, or call us at 561-617-0120. With the help of our talented axe masters, you will be hitting bullseyes in no time. Game of Axes is located at 12550 South Military Trail. Let's get throwing!
Thank you for watching the Brooklyn Cafe, where every day is a new adventure. If you'd like to join Dawn and Freddie S. at the cafe, give them a call at 888-565-1470 toll-free. Come on in for a cup of coffee or call to share a thought for the day and get all the information you need to help your business grow. Don't forget, sharing is caring, and to like this video. Let's reopen the cafe doors now. Back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And welcome back.
You're mesmerized by Pam Polani's pedicure.
Yes.
Oh, that should be a special.
Really?
Pam Polani's pedicure.
You know what? I have a challenge. If anybody knows somebody who can do my toes as good as the woman in Hollywood, Florida, lay it on me, because that woman is so amazing. She does hand painting on my toes.
Field on one toe.
I do, and I have a football
on the
name
other.
because it's Go Gator season. Go Gators!
What are you gonna go after alligators?
No, baby, Florida Gators.
Do you like
It's
professional
great to be a
football
Florida
players?
Gator. No, I really don't like. I'll tell you what. I don't love professional pro ball, because I really think when you watch college ball and you see these kids putting their heart and soul on the fields, that is the essence of the game. When the professional players, like they just don't do it because God forbid they get a torn ACL, they're out all season, they're not making their money. It's a very different feeling. I mean, I will admit that watching the game last night, they played incredibly well, and it's fun to watch a great game. But like when I watched the Dolphins on Sunday, that was so bad. I mean, just it's heartbreaking.
It's because they got their butts beat.
No, it's not. They didn't play well.
If the Dolphins had won 56 to whatever they lost by, would you still be a Dolphin fan today? I'm not a Jet fan anymore.
My husband is a
saw what they
huge
did
Dolphin
Sunday.
fan, but
No,
I'm just not. Just not. I like college ball. Sorry,
We
that's
were
my
talking
thing.
during commercial break about Christine.
Don't call me on Saturdays.
And Christine is Eddie's wife, his partner in crime. She's also a physical therapist, a health coach.
Yep.
And I was very intrigued. Maybe you know the answer. She put on social media that she made one change that changed her life.
She married you.
No, that's not it.
No. Okay.
Oh, I saw what she wrote. I need to talk to you off.
Yeah, we got a question that went to the ears.
That's another
and
one.
that's a whole other question.
That was a whole different question.
Legs over.
But do you know what
Yes.
it was?
That's
Was it
what
her
it was.
food? Was it working out?
You have to talk to her in regards to that, because her I don't know how to say it because she has multiple different things that she actually adjusted, but that one adjustment that she did, which I don't know what it was, to be honest with you.
Well, you're making me so curious.
Yeah, it actually.
What kind of adjustment?
She didn't say. She said she made one major adjustment.
You have to reach her.
I think it's about food.
I might have been.
It was about food, I think.
See, she's got everyone intrigued, and that is the power of social media because we do not know the answer. So, Christine, if you're watching,
No, that didn't intrigue me. It was the other thing that intrigued me.
Yeah.
The other post you made.
Yeah, that was.
I know which one you're talking about.
There you go. There you go.
I heard it involved a bunny rabbit.
Yes, many bunny rabbits.
Many bunny rabbits. Okay. I want to see that post.
And,
I'm going to Facebook you right
but
now.
we were talking during commercial break because Pam has some injuries about working out, and there are some workarounds.
Oh, you have injuries?
Oh my gosh.
You're
I have
injured?
spinal stenosis. I have
Really?
degenerative bone disease. I have 2 herniated discs. I'm missing cushion between C4, C5, L4,
How do
L5.
you do? You're an attorney.
And I have torn hamstrings and a torn I've torn both hamstrings right now, and I have a torn ACL.
Okay, I need to ask you. Do you? What do you do? How did you get?
No,
all
no, I live. I wake up every
chandeliers?
morning. I wake up every morning and I live. I mean, really, if I told you, the ACL was actually a good story. I actually was rappelling down a cliff, and I pushed off the cliff, and my knee locked, and I tore my ACL. That was fun. But and I was in a foreign country when I did it.
And torn hamstrings? How'd you do that?
You know, I don't know. Honestly, it might have been too many bunny rabbits. I don't know. But, you know, the point being is it's life, and it's unfortunate, and this is what I've been given. And a lot of people have a lot of injuries.
And a lot of people have a lot of injuries, and they give up on fitness because they feel like they can't do it. But so that's where you know, we come along and we actually teach you and explain to you that you still can work out and teach you how to do it. Especially with my wife being a physical therapist, she's actually can give you a routine who's going to help you strengthen those, you know, with your knee and whatever situation that you have. And we implement these workouts, 15, 30 minutes and workouts that you can
And you must be very
do.
good at what you do, because you do get, there's a mental component to this.
Right.
You know, where I actually will freeze and say, I'm not sure I can do this exercise because in anticipation that it's going to hurt me. I can do a lot of
It's a
things.
mental block.
But
It's
then
a
later
mental block.
on, I'll get a massive headache because I did something, you know, where my neck and back are hurting. So
Now, I was going to ask, in her situation, I guess stretching before warming up, before she actually does any kind of activity is probably going to be essential.
For her, a lot of not really before. A lot of hers will be stretching after, because with certain injuries that she may have, her stretching before is gonna tie and make it tired already, and then to go and then go and working out intensifies even more, and now she can have some more swellings in different situations. So it's a light workout, light training that she can definitely do. It's gonna help to strengthen around whatever it's the knee, and doing squats, for example. Squats is gonna be a very hard exercise for her, especially if her knees are really, really bad, and hamstrings and so on. So it could be half squats, not going all the way down, but half squats will be actually a good workout that you can actually do, and to build that strength around it to the point where you'll be able to do a full squat. There's different things, different techniques to actually do and still get a workout that your body definitely needs. Just understand, as for example, you saying you have tear hamstrings and so on. A lot of times affecting because you had a knee issues. You're compensating for something else because you don't want to put so much pressure on certain things, and that's where a lot of people don't understand. You could have a knee problem right now, and the next thing your other knee starting to hurt. Why? Because you're leaning more on the other one rather than taking pressure on this one. So that's where all exercise will make you understand, like, yes, you have torn ACL. Imagine a football player who torn their ACL and they went in the next year, they're playing football again. So if they can't do it, what makes you think that you can't really do it as well? So it's like the whole thing is the mental aspect you're talking about as well.
And
so that's where it comes up.
Right?
And
so
proper
you need
training.
The proper exercises. You just don't want to say, "Oh, I can figure this out on my own."
You need the proper training. Like Coach Christine, she's awesome at what she does, and even for me, because I used to have some lower back issues from football as well, and to the point where she was able to show me what to do, how to stretch and everything like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Me, I'm very let me see, unflexible, or whichever. I'm not flexible at all. Flexibility is not my strength.
That's not my problem.
You know, my thing is,
I just want you to know, I'm very, very flexible.
But you're all beat up.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm very flexible.
But
Isn't that funny?
You may pop a hammy in the middle of flexibility.
I've already popped a hammy, so it's done.
But strength is my thing. I'm strong and I have really good stamina, but I'm not flexible. But how do I work around that and still be able to do what I need to do? I still can. My exercises help me to be flexible, because especially if I'm doing hamstring exercises using weight, it makes me flexible because it's pulling me down to actually extend it. So my flexibility comes from when I'm training. It helps me.
What
to
about
become
the spinal injuries that she have? That's a concern.
Yeah, spinal injuries there's a lot of different things you can do too. Massage helps too.
I do. I get a weekly massage, and I love you, Kevin. You're the best.
And seeing a chiropractor at least once or twice a month is definitely going to help. Spinal injuries is very serious. So the one thing you definitely need to do is see a chiropractor, see what it is. That is, could be, like you said, one of your discs is shifted. That needs to be adjusted. It can get back. Literally, it can be adjusted back. I had spinal injury. It was literally on my neck. So to the point where it's adjusted, now my neck is perfect because I couldn't turn all
Always
over.
consult your physician before you work out. But if
Right.
there's a way, and if they say nothing to your lower body, then if you can go and just do something with your upper body, if you can walk, if you can, more for mental mindset. Because if someone said you can't, if someone told me I couldn't do anything for 4 to 6 weeks, you wouldn't want to see me for 8 weeks. That I can guarantee.
Well, yes, exercise for me is a stress relief. I'm a probate litigator. I do trust litigation, and you know what? I need that stress relief. And so when the doctor said don't work out for 6 to 8 weeks, I was like, "Are you kidding?" And he goes, "Listen, even my wife pulled her hamstring, and 4 days later she wanted to go for a run." And I was like, "You know, you have football players who get injured with this, and they're out for 6 to 8 weeks. Why do you think you could run 4 days after being diagnosed with this?"
Here's the difference, though. The football players who get injured in 6 weeks, they have that a physician or a fitness trainer or something that's there with them 24 to help them to get there within 6 to 7 weeks or 8 weeks. You don't, because a lot of times when we get these injuries, for everybody else, they get these injuries, they go to the physician saying, "This is the situation, this is what you need to do. You need to go see, get some physical therapy or whatever." Do we actually follow through? Do people actually follow? Oh, I can do it on my own.
Well, you should do.
How can people reach Shred Zone? How can they reach you or Christine?
You can give us a call on 561-331-2059, or you can go on our Instagram. We're on Instagram, ShredZone_fitness, which you'll see actually Christine all the time. She's really giving you free tips on there as well. And you can go and find us online on Facebook as well, Shred Zone Fitness Studios.
Their studio is in Boynton Beach, but they will come to you and make a program for your office, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day, customized program that you do not even have to go to studio. It's an online program. You'll be able to log into that, full access to everything without having to be there.
That's
once
awesome.
you have fully assessed.
They bring a litigation punching bag.
I love it.
Pam, how can people find out about Brain Bowl 2020?
So Brain Bowl 2020 actually has a website. It's www.boca-ratonbrainbowl.org. It is a nonprofit of its own that raises money for other nonprofits. The walk is actually alz.org. Type in Pamela Polani, you'll find my page. I would love if you joined me. And alz.org. It's on Sunday, November 10th. And Pam Polani, the attorney, can actually, because, I have to have money to be able to do my philanthropy.
Yes.
Yeah. So can be found actually at my website, which is www.bocadelrayprobateattorneyatlaw.com.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned, everyone. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Be kind to each other.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Are you ready for the challenge? Do you know what's coming? Are you ready to become a healthier you in 12 weeks? Welcome to Shred Zone. Shred Zone Fitness offers a personalized training program that you can do. With 30 minutes of time and online daily support, motivation, and a customized, easy, and flexible program designed with you in mind. Contact us at shredzoneonline.com and Shred Zone Fitness Studio, 561-331-2059. Shred Zone Online gives you 24/7 access to your personal trainer, personalized nutrition suggestions, strength training, and weekly accountability. Contact Shred Zone today at 561-331-2059. Let Shred Zone shred you to a better health. ShredZoneOnline.com or 561-331-2059.
The Heart of Delray Gallery, located in the Delray Art Complex, is one of South Florida's top venues for art, culture, music, and private events. The Heart of Delray Gallery is a cutting-edge, 11,000-square-foot art exhibition showcasing local artists and artisans with the highest quality of talent and vision, highlighting South Florida's creative arts. Visit us at the Heart of Delray Gallery, 1440 North Federal Highway in Delray Beach. Come, take a tour, book your next private event or fundraiser, or join us for Art Walk the first Friday of every month from 6 to 11 p.m. For more information, give us a call at 561-278-0074.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show is over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more goodwill next time. You can follow the cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.